Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend, and my plan is to try to make it even better with this video. Now for today, we are looking at some games that are on sale on the Nintendo eShop, and they are in that sweet spot between $5 and $10. Every game will be either at an all-time low or a brand new low, so you can shop with confidence, knowing that you're getting a good deal. Alright folks, as always, I appreciate you hanging out. Let's dive in. Alright, and we'll start off with Moonshades, which is a first-person dungeon crawler that draws heavy inspiration from classics like Eye of the Beholder and Dungeon Master. You'll explore handcrafted dungeons filled with traps, puzzles, and monsters using real-time combat and deep item customization. It offers dozens of hours of gameplay, especially if you dive into the procedurally generated pits mode. The combat is old school but satisfying, and the difficulty ramps up as you go. For any fan of classic RPGs, this is a passion project and well worth checking out. It runs great on the Switch, and right now it's just $5.39. The deal ends on the 21st. Exo-Calibre is a vertical shooter with 3 playable characters, each rocking unique weapons and melee attacks. You'll fly through bullet hell stages, slash through enemies, and take down massive bosses with explosive flair. Now it includes multiple modes like the story, boss rush, and time rush, adding plenty of replay value to the pickup. Gameplay is tight and fast, the 2D pixel art is bursting with color, and you can expect about a medium level of challenge unless you're going for that high score, of course. The Switch version runs great even during the most chaotic moments, and right now it's just $5.59. The deal ends on the 16th. Dungeons of Dreadrock 2, The Dead King's Secret, builds upon the clever level-by-level puzzle combat of the original. You'll descend into an ancient mountain once again, this time as a member of the Order of the Flame. You'll have to solve puzzles and battle monsters as you uncover a dark royal secret. Now every room is its own mini-challenge, blending action and logic. You can expect about 4 to 6 hours of gameplay. However, it's going to take a bit longer for most people as it is a pretty difficult game. It runs great on the Switch though, perfect for short sessions, and right now it's just $5.99. The deal ends on the 1st of August. Super XYX is a love letter to arcade shoot-'em-ups from the 90s. You have 6 stages of intense vertical scrolling action. You can choose from multiple pilots with their own ships and weapon loadouts, and blast your way through swarms of enemies and screen-filling bosses. The gameplay is fast, flashy, and demanding, but there are difficulty settings and unlockables to help keep everything much more accessible. Expect a short campaign, but lots of replay value if you're chasing scores. It runs great on the Switch, and it's a must for any fan of the genre. Right now it's just $5.99. The deal ends on the 25th. Star Ocean First Departure R is a remastered version of the original, featuring enhanced visuals and quality of life upgrades. Now this is a sci-fi fantasy JRPG with real-time battles and branching storylines. The story runs at about 20 to 30 hours depending on choices and exploration, of course. Combat can be chaotic but rewarding, and the difficulty stays at the medium level, I would say. The performance is great, the voice acting and artwork updates are all a nice bonus, and right now you can pick it up for just $6.29. The deal ends on the 17th. From Star Ocean to Final Fantasy VII, which needs no introduction. Now this is the original PS1 version with quality of life features like 3x speed, no encounter mode, and battle boost. You'll follow Cloud and the gang through an unforgettable 50-hour journey, mixing turn-based battles, an iconic soundtrack, and some of the most memorable moments in gaming. The difficulty is kind of what you make it because there's so much customization. There are definitely spikes though with some of the secret bosses and that kind of thing. Now it runs great on the Switch, and the fast forward mode does make replaying way more accessible than ever before. If you haven't played it yet somehow, right now you can pick it up for just $6.39. The deal ends on the 17th. Blossom Tales 2: The Minotaur Prince is a charming top-down action-adventure game in the spirit of classic Zelda titles. You'll explore forests, caves, pirate coves, and ancient ruins as a young girl named Lily, solving puzzles and upgrading gear, and battling the Minotaur King to save your brother. Now it offers about 15 hours of content, and the storybook narration adds a ton of personality to every scene. Difficulty is kind of light to medium, and the Switch version runs great. If you're a fan of old school 2D adventures, this one has a ton of heart and is definitely worth checking out. Right now it's just $7.49, and the deal ends on the 24th. Decarnation is a psychological horror adventure game set in 1990s Paris. It follows Gloria, a cabaret dancer unraveling under personal and supernatural pressures. The game blends surreal exploration with mini-games and puzzles. Now, it's more about the atmosphere and emotion than the action, and you can expect about 5 to 7 hours of gameplay with heavy themes and eerie storytelling. The pixel art and haunting soundtrack, which actually features contributions from the Silent Hill composer, definitely help to set the mood perfectly. It runs great on Switch, and fans of narrative-driven horror games will have a lot to love here. Now, keep in mind it does earn that mature rating, but if all that sounds alright, right now you can pick it up for just $7.49. The deal ends on the 16th. Koa and the Five Pirates of Mara is a delightful 3D platformer set in a tropical world. You'll run, jump, and collect things through trap-filled levels as Koa and her buddy Napopo. Now, you'll do it all while battling goofy pirate bosses. The game is lighthearted and beginner-friendly, with optional challenges and time trials for more experienced players. You can expect about 5 to 7 hours of gameplay, and the performance is great on Switch. It's an easy, colorful adventure for all ages, and right now it's just $7.99. The deal ends on the 21st. Vampyr is a third-person action RPG set in a plague-ridden version of London, where you play as a doctor turned vampire. You'll juggle your role as healer and predator. Every life that you take affects the web of NPCs and the story itself. Now, combat involves melee, guns, and vampiric powers, with RPG stat building layered in. It is definitely a pretty hefty game at about 20 to 25 hours, with a strong focus on dialogue and consequence. Difficulty can spike at times. The Switch version, though, runs surprisingly well. It's a pretty good port. Now, of course, you're going to get lower resolution and all that, but it does have a stable frame rate, and all of the content is included. Right now, you can pick it up for just $7.99. The deal ends again on the 16th. Black Book is a narrative-driven deck-building RPG. You play as a young witch seeking the demonic Black Book to resurrect her lost love. Now, combat plays out using spell cards and turn-based strategy, but there's also exploration and puzzle solving, and even a few exorcisms. You'll spend about 15 to 20 hours to uncover the mystery of this fairy tale world. Difficulty sits at that medium level, and you can kind of make it easier or harder depending on what build you go with. It runs great on the Switch, and the unique mythological flavor really sets it apart from other games in the genre. Right now you can pick it up for just $8.74. The deal ends on the 31st. Trover Saves the Universe is a chaotic, fourth-wall-breaking comedy adventure from Justin Roiland, co-creator of Rick and Morty. You control an alien as you explore this weird planet, solving puzzles and platforming and cracking crew jokes the whole way. Also, the world is filled with weird NPCs. It's a pretty strange game. Now, you can expect about 6 to 8 hours of gameplay, and it isn't crazy difficult. The humor and the absurdity are definitely going to be the draw. The Switch port holds up well, though, and if you're into that kind of comedy, definitely check it out. Right now, it's just $9.89, and the deal ends on the 29th. Cookie Cutter Overkill Edition is a blood-soaked Metroidvania starring Cherry, a chainsaw-wielding android out for revenge. Now you can expect intense combat, fluid traversal, and massive boss battles set in a dystopian future. The game runs at 60 FPS on Switch and includes new attacks, fully voice-acted characters, and extra cinematics in the Overkill Edition. You'll get about 15 to 20 hours of gameplay depending on how much you explore. The difficulty is middle of the road with some tough boss fights thrown in there. Right now you can pick it up for just $9.99. The deal ends on the 31st. Coromon is a modern take on the monster taming RPGs, blending the classic Pokemon-style formula with deeper tactical systems. You'll catch and train over 100 different Coromon, explore 6 large zones, and battle through a full 20 to 25-hour story. Combat features a stamina-based system and a variety of difficulty modes. Now, performance is great on Switch, and it looks beautiful in handheld mode. Whether you're here for nostalgia or competitive battles, Coromon is an excellent pick for fans of creature collecting. Right now you can grab it up for just $9.99. The deal ends again on the 31st. Ultros is a psychedelic Metroidvania set in a cosmic biomechanical structure called the Sarcophagus. You'll explore lush alien environments, battle grotesque enemies in close combat, and tend to plants that will unlock new paths. Now the game features a loop-based progression system where every run helps you access new areas or story branches, and overall you're getting about 8 to 12 hours of gameplay. The combat feels great, the vibrant hand-drawn art looks amazing, and it runs well on the Switch. Right now you can pick it up for just $9.99, but you'll have to hurry, the deal ends on the 15th. Alright folks, that wraps up the video. Thank you as always for hanging out. If you had a good time, please leave a like before you go. And let me know down in the comments if there's any games that you plan to pick up, any games you're going to pick up in the future, or if you picked up anything that I didn't talk about, let me know. I'd love to hear a recommendation from any of you all. Alright folks, I'll catch you on the next one.